know good and well it would be irresponsible of me to let you go without just asking. Come on, Khabib. Khabib's right around the corner. I know there's been talk about that. I got to ask you, though. I mean, how realistic is that if Khabib got the win over Poirier and your phone rings? Is that the one to motivate you?
Listen, Charles. You said to me, how realistic is that? And the real question is how realistic that was. It was. We worked very hard to try to make it. My agent knocked at the door. We asked many times, and the UFC was categorically didn't want to do it. My goal was to be the first to become champ. That's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, it fell. And after we even tried to go to ask if we could do it in a catch weight, and the UFC didn't want to do it. They had other plan. I know Khabib wanted. The fans, I think the fans love the idea of that fight. And in a way, it's a little bit unfair for Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson been there, and he deserved the title shot. You know what I mean? But it's a sport that you need to be selfish and do the best that that you can do for yourself. But now it's over. The train. I missed the train. The train is gone, and I don't know. But I don't think it will happen. You know what I mean? But now I'm not. I can't sit around and twiddle my thumb and waiting for that opportunity to come. I had other big project coming up, and I have to move on and keep going.
George, I got to tell you, I'm listening to your words, but I'm trying to read your face right now. I think you're telling me the truth. I think you are. But I'm holding out.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. When I train in the gym, and I'm in train, and I'm sure you will understand that because you retire too. When I train in the gym, I feel like I still get it. I train with the young guys, and I feel strong. And if you would ask me the same question, if I would have done this interview right after a training, because I finished training and I feel very strong and confident, and I love what I do, I will tell you yes. If something goes on and I have an opportunity, maybe I might consider it because I feel good. But the minute I leave the gym and I go home, or and I'm like, hell no, like I don't want to go back into that damn circus, like, no, I'm done.
I do get it, George. I know exactly.
It's hard to explain for someone who didn't went through that same path we did as a fighter, but it's so much drama and so much pressure, and I just don't want to go back. What concerned me, it's my health, and it's not the punch to the head for me. It's more the stress, because when I fight, I know the way I perform the best is when I put a lot on my shoulder, and my body take a toll. It's a very stressful life, but that's what I need to do in order to perform at my best. And I just don't feel right now that I want to go through another 3 months of crazy sacrifice, hardcore sparring and training. And I right now I'm home, and you ask me the question, I'm like, hell no. But tomorrow after training, if you would ask me the question, I'll be like, yeah, maybe I'll do it. So it's a mixed feeling. And in the doubt,
I understand that completely. I hope you change your mind, but I understand completely. George, unless there's anything else you want to get off your chest, buddy, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Chael, and thank you.
You're awesome. All right, take care, George. All right, Georges St-Pierre, right there. I got to tell you, truly the greatest of all time. And the fact that he even had a goal, and I could tell he was shooting straight with us right there. He does, or did, want to fight Khabib. And he's also right when he says Khabib wanted that, and he's also right when he says the fans wanted it. I will tell you, I've heard him tell that story before. I did not fully believe it, and I'll tell you why. And I struggle with it now. It stuns me that if he would want it, Khabib would want it, and the fans would want it. It just stuns me that the office said, that's not one we want. That was the hard part I had the first time I heard the story. That was the hard part I had the second time I heard the story. That's the hard part I have now telling the story. I know he's telling the truth. I'm just sharing with you. That's hard for me to accept, and I would like to know why. I would like to know if there was some kind of feathers ruffled there, if there was a bigger plan for Khabib, if there was a fear about how the result was going to go. It brings to a deeper conversation, though. And Allow me to speculate on this for you. I believe the reason that they would not want that fight to happen is largely because George wants a one-off with Khabib. Evidence of that is George himself saying, I'm looking to come down, grab the belt, and ride off in the sunset. Oh, and by the way, it's the same thing I did at the middleweights. I thought it was a cool moment. I thought it was a special moment. George versus Bisping. Historic. I would go that far. That really pisses them off. It's an insult to the highest of levels. In their regard, in their own standards, it is an insult to the highest of levels if you would walk away from my belt. I mean, it is like the cardinal sin. Can't relate to it. I don't fully understand why, but it is. Just accept that it is. So if George were to slide down to 155, grab the strap and walk off again and do the same thing there that he had done at 185 for whatever reason, don't want that to happen. Okay, great. Bigger point though, guys. I have a bigger point to this, which is as much as I believe that Daniel Cormier versus Stipe is going to happen again, it does put you in a very similar spot if you are the promotion. If you really hate guys coming in and grabbing a belt and leaving, Daniel is all but assuring us his next fight is his last fight. I believe that with every bit of my being. Knowing him since he was a teenager, his next fight is his last fight. If he is to come in and get the jump on Stipe, but part of his negotiation is to disclose that ahead of time, that is going to be a little bit of a problem. How big of a problem, we'll find out, but that is going to be a little bit of a problem. Let's see where that goes. I think that it happens. I think there's a way to work around it. The problem is Daniel Cormier is not a gamer. Daniel Cormier is a straight shooter. He is not going to play. Daniel Cormier knows everything I'm saying right now to be true. But he still will not come to the table with a hustle and go, all right, just give me Stipe. And as soon as I'm done with Stipe, I'll give you that John Jones fight you really want. He's not going to do that. He's going to tell you straight up. One more. Stipe, win or lose. One more, give me Stipe. And that's going to be an issue with the negotiation. Is it enough to stop it? I'm not willing to say that. But if we are to look at the two stories, the one that we were just told by George, where they did not want to make the 155-pound title bout between him and Khabib, when George is then going to walk away, and how do you rebuild Khabib? I mean, that's a very real thing in the world of promotion. It's a very real thing. It's a very real issue. It would seem that that same principle could apply for Daniel versus Stipe 3. For any of you get your hopes down or think I just doused it. No, I didn't. It's just something that's going to have to be discussed. It's just something that's going to have to be talked about. And perhaps Stipe comes in big and strong and realizes, look, that's the biggest opponent that I can get right now, unless you want to bring John up for me to kick around, which John isn't going to do. So it comes back to Stipe going, look, I'm looking for big fights. That's a big fight. Let's just do it one more time. Oh, and by the way, guys, don't worry about him running off with your belt. Told you the second time it wasn't going to happen, and I'll tell you again. There's a way to get around it. But it's very hard for me to tell both of these stories to you guys. Give us all the news that we want. Yeah, we want George and Khabib. Yeah, we want Daniel and Stipe. It's very hard to just act like this is all just going to happen magically for us. And that we all going to be happy and see these wonderful... There's a couple things you have to look at. And the two stories coincide. Where's it going to fall? Let's see.